Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and an enormous selection of players and stat options are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
You are listening to the Hiking Radio Network, where we talk the walk with shows by hikers, about hikers, for everybody.
I'm wondering if you'd go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night.
Welcome to the Jester Section Hiker Podcast, where we talk about the continual pursuit of the section hiker.
And I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. You are listening to Jester Section Hiker, the premier podcast with the spotlight on section hikers. I'm your host, Julie Jester Gayhart, and once again, coming to you from the Appalachian Trail. I am continuing to work on my second section hike, and today is day 19. It is Thursday, July the 2nd, and I am actually not hiking any miles today. I am currently at the Loft Mountain Campground in the Shenandoah National Park, and I've got a special treat coming up for you here in just a second, but just wanted to let you know that this morning I went up to the campground store and took a shower, bought some stuff in the store, was working on getting some laundry done, and walked outside, and a van pulled up. And I was like, wait a minute, I think I recognize that van. And for those of you that are familiar with the Appalachian Trail, there is a gentleman that feeds hikers along the trail. His trail name is Fresh Ground, and his cafe that leapfrogs up and down the trail is known as the Leapfrog Cafe. And I was like, wow, I think that's Fresh Ground. So I went over to the van, and he was getting out, and I said, oh my God, Fresh Ground. And he was like, hey, how's it going? And I said, hey, I'm Jester. And we started talking, and I was telling him about the podcast and what I'm doing out here. And I said, hey, do you mind if I interview you for a few minutes and you can kind of fill us in on your perspective of what's going on out here this hiking season during a pandemic and COVID-19, and what he's seen and hearing from section hikers, thru hikers, day hikers, whoever he is feeding out on the trail. And I've got that coming up here for you. I will go ahead and play that for you now. Enjoy your Thursday, July the 2nd, and I will be back with you and chatting real soon. All right, everybody, it is Jester, and you all, I mean, you're really not going to believe this. So you guys know I've been out working on my second section hike this summer, and the last communication I gave you guys was that I was going to spend a couple days off in the Shenandoah National Park. It was going to chill out and all this kind of stuff. And sitting up here at the Loft Mountain Campground, and who rolls in but the ever famous, okay.
What is famous?
The ever famous feed all hikers as much as possible. Fresh Ground. Welcome to the Jester Section Hiker Podcast.
Good morning, everybody.
And fresh grad, I just said, hey, we're just going to go with it. And I'm going to ask you some questions. So let's go back to the beginning of the hiker season, because we all know we're in a pandemic and there's crazy stuff going on. So talk to us about when you first went out and what you were seeing, because that's what people want to know.
Right. So
when hikers started, what they're seeing and what's going on.
Well, it's unique because, a lot of people don't meet me because I start early in the year. So I'm usually out front with the Novos. I start February 14th at Springer Mountain Parking Lot and tend to move really fast. So fast hikers I tend to cater to. Because I am a Leapfrog Cafe, it's the name of the, what I do. The hikers named that in 2013. But we actually have I set up a kitchen. It's all you can eat, all you can tote out of there, cafe. I custom cook for them. So I started north in February, and I made it all the way to Marion, and I had 2 or 3 northern bubbles that are out front. And then when North Carolina and Virginia at the same day decided to have a stay-at-home order put in place, that effectively shut down the trailheads. So that's where I do my feeding. So right before that was happening, the hikers didn't know what. So I stayed out a little longer than most people thought I should, because I wanted to give them accurate information and also wanted them to have the option to decide what they wanted to do. And a very few of them kept going, and some have actually finished the trail. Some of the Katahdin and come back and finish where they skipped. Very few, but the majority of them got off. 75% got off, and I have a small group that stayed on, and they should be around New York, New Jersey, New York, and maybe up in Connecticut, Massachusetts right now.
Okay, so when you decided to, hey, I need to pack this up, I need to go home, and when you got home, was there like a particular, you said I'm going to wait to a certain point and go back out, or did you kind of do like an unknown, I don't know what I'm going to do?
No, stay-at-home order has to be lifted first. I want to obey the laws. I'm here to be in compliance. Legally wise.
Right.
So each state, North Carolina and Virginia, have a stay-at-home order, meaning that, if you live in that state or you visit that state, you should be at home. You only have to be out for necessary. So once that was lifted on June 10th is when I was able to come out in Virginia and start back.
Oh, perfect. So did you start in Marion where you left off, or kind of?
No, I met Wild on the trail. Me and him been in communication. He interviewed me last year. So he was just north.
He's got a YouTube channel out there. Yes.
He does. So I met him. I keyed in on him because I knew he was at the very back end. I knew I was going to go north. So I met him just north of Daleville and then stayed with his bubble for 4 or 5 days. And then I found out 2 of my hikers that had finished summited Katahdin. They just had to slip through and summit. I'm not telling everybody to do that, but they did what they had to do.
Yep.
And they were going to suffer the consequences if they run into problems.
Yep.
They were wanting to finish their hikes because this is the only time in their life they can do this. So for them, they were kind of backs against the wall thing. And then they came back, and one of them had to finish the Shenandoahs, and the other one should finish today or tomorrow at Woods Hole Hostel.
Oh, nice. Very good.
That was Curly and Duke.
Okay. So are you... For me, I've been out here, this is day 19, I am seeing more people, or hearing more thru-hikers. Section hikers are out doing their section hiker thing like we always do, but I'm hearing from thru-hikers more and more talk of the flip-flop. Yep, I'm going to go so far, flip up, come back. Is that what you're hearing or seeing?
Yeah, I think most people have that in mind. But it's about a third of them that just said, I'm going to go as far as I can north. And some are even going to attempt to make it north from here.
Gotcha.
I mean, we're already at mile...
we're at 800 and... Yeah. Well, close to 900 now.
Close to 900 now.
Yeah.
So, and this is only July. They can really make it. If Katahdin closes like normal, some of them can make it.
And wait a minute, today's July the 1st. Katahdin's supposed to open today.
Second.
Okay.
Well, they said they changed it to the 15th.
Oh, they did?
It was the 1st, and then they said...
it is July 2nd. You know how time goes.
Today's the 2nd.
Yeah.
But they said on the earliest they're going to open is the 15th.
Okay. So there's still hope that they'll open, hikers will be able to get through.
Hikers said it the other day. They said, we were talking about it, and they said, somebody gave me good advice. Worry about that when you get there. You just got to focus on the now. I mean, honestly, you're only hiking from resupply to resupply anyway, right?
Right.
That's section hikers do the same thing.
That's right. That's what we do.
Once you start, you just go to your next resupply and then make your decision then,
So right now you're with how many, you think?
I fed 8 for breakfast this morning.
Okay.
1 was a section hiker and 2 was section hikers, so 6 are thru-hikers.
Okay, perfect. So from here, will you follow this particular group? Will you skip ahead, or what do you...
I usually stay with a group, but 4 or 5 days. I found out after 4 or 5 days, there's a little bit of entitlement comes in. You got some more butter from a pancake or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I find that it's better to share. I'm really good at cooking for a few because my setup is not set up for the masses. So I do really good with a few, and I stay with them for a few days, and then I'll leave and jump and grab another group and stay with them for a few days. So I kind of leapfrog back and forth and all around.
Well, I got a couple more questions for you, and then I'm going to let you go. Sure. I know you're busy. So the first one is, what's Fresh Ground's story? Because I feel like you started off hiking and then decided your calling was more feeding the hikers.
It was. And that's exactly right, a calling. So I started in 2012. My brother took me to Amacola. He kept saying, why do we stop at these service stations for coffee? I'm like, I like my coffee Fresh Ground. They grind it from beans there.
Right.
And he goes, that's your trail name. That's where that came from. The Leapfrog Cafe, the hikers named it that because I kept leaping. In 2013, I just felt it in my heart to go feed hikers. So I went down to Georgia. Lee and Josh Saint used to run the hiker hostel.
Yes.
And Leah said...
and I got a story about that. I'll tell you offline here.
But Leah said, I want to feed hikers. She said, go to Woody Gap. I said, is that going to interfere with y'all? Nope, no problem. So I stayed up there 10 days. I came back. I said, I had such a great time. I want to do it again. She says, go to Wine and Stair Gap up in Franklin. I had a dog with me then, so I ended up going to Waya Picnic Area, which is 8 miles north or 6 miles north of there, and right before Waya Road. And then I set up there for 10 days, and then I was going to go hiking, and then the hiker said, no, we want to run it. What you do is great. We love it. So they put a collection jar out. Well, taught me to put a collection jar out, and that ran it for like 2.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Well, when I say 2.5, we only did 2 months each year the first 3 years. So it would be like 2 months. It'd be, back then I did March and April. And then that was it. Just 2 months with Novos. And then I'd maybe come out for a couple of weeks and do Sobos. But the donation jar ran it. And then finally the ATC contacted me and said, you might be in violation of our policy. Very nice about it. They weren't mean about it. We looked into it and we realized you can't accept or solicit donations on trail. So we started doing a fundraiser before the season starts.
Okay.
And so developed credibility. And so that's worked. And I worked out of a car for a while. Now I'm in a van. So I've kind of expanded. I did solar install this year. So I have, on the side of the van, I have, solar chargers. And actually the hikers say that's the fastest solar charger they've ever seen. Fastest charger they've ever seen, because I think it's faster than the AC.
Yeah, and that's important because that's what people want.
Important.
They want to be able to charge. Yes.
So I have Qualcomm 3.0 fast charge, 4 ports, 2 plugs on the outside of the van. So at any time somebody walks up to the van, they can charge for free. I have solar on top. I have a battery charger installed. But that investment, and you saw I just got a new cooler. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get some upgrades that makes it more efficient. And even today we were talking about we're doing away with plastic forks. We're going to go back to stainless, and then they have to wash their own utensils. That way we have no plastic involved whatsoever, just paper.
Gotcha. And along those lines, let's talk about how you're handling COVID-19.
So I had this before 19 came along. I have a hand wash station. So even yesterday, we had a problem with a guy who wanted us to wear a mask, and we're outdoors, we're out away from everybody.
Yeah.
He was just very angry, and he wanted to be in control. But everybody has that option, especially out here. We know we're not around people very, very far apart. And the hikers live together, but it's their option. But it's mandatory when you come into Leapfrog Cafe, you have to wash your hands. I do a bleach dunk, 1 part bleach, 9 parts water. And then I have soap there. So some Trader Joe's lemon soap, smells really good. And wash your hands. I have clean rinse water. I have a clean towel. And then I also have hand sanitizer there on top of that. So that's mandatory for every person that comes in. Before you even touch anything in my setup, you have to wash your hands.
And I think before COVID-19, hikers don't want to be dirty.
No.
Even when we're hiking, it's like, wash your hands. We don't want, the flu or anything like that. So
some though.
Well, there's always an exception.
Yeah, the dirty 30, you've heard of that. Go 30 days without a shower. I don't recommend that. But
no.
You run into people that are just so obsessed with getting miles in that cleanliness takes a second seat.
Not at the Fresh Ground Cafe, not at the Leapfrog.
You've run into them before.
I've run into them before. Well, I smell them before I get to them.
That's
there
right.
you go.
That's
there you
right.
go. Well, I guess it's a badge of honor for some people.
Well, like right here, I'm paying for the shower. I have 8 hikers coming. Well, 7 more. She's with me. And I'm going to pay for the shower, and I'm going to pay for the laundry. So they just have to come up. The Leapfrog Cafe covers the bill for all that. They're going to have to buy their food here. I did breakfast for them, and I will do supper about 10 or 12 miles farther down the road. But here's their break.
Yeah.
And so I'm not cooking. I usually do 2 setups a day. That's about max. Breakfast.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize, that's a lot of work.
It can be. I have a really efficient system. It looks bigger than it really is. Everything's in containers, but it's home-cooked meals, home-style meals. So I have hikers that have fed them so many meals now that I actually had to take some of the food out of the food bag and carry it for them so they don't get mad at me. Because they didn't realize they packed 5 days food.
The pack you're following, they're gaining weight out here.
They are. Well, Gumby, you'll see Gumby earlier. He is the skinniest of them all. He's from New York. Just rail thin, and he
can't feed him enough.
Can't lose any more weight. Yeah.
So one more question,
Sure.
Because I followed Hawk, Craig Maines last year,
My buddy.
Finishing up his yo-yo and got really addicted to his videos. And I'm out here hiking, but when I can, I'm watching him now because he's just, I don't know, I just really enjoy his videos. So do you plan on catching up with him, or first of all, how was that ending with his yo-yo last year? Because that had to have been awesome.
It was pretty, and he asked me to be at Springer parking lot, and I cooked for everybody there. But yeah, that was almost magical. And and then he left me and went down the approach trail and had another group waiting for him at the Arc.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's pretty cool finish. I will say one thing. We were leaving the NOC one morning, and Hawk doesn't like rain. And can you imagine yo-yoing?
Yeah.
So we're leaving. It's getting ready. It's raining, but I said, Hawk, it looks like it's going to clear up. I had to talk him into hiking instead of taking another day. And he left me, and it poured down rain. I mean, buckets. And I was like, he's going to be so mad at me. But the timing of us finishing, he finished in good weather. The next day, it rained really bad. So we looked back on it. I was like, ain't you glad you hiked it at rain? Because I hated you for it, but we did the right thing. But yeah, we developed a really good friendship. And we also, same thing, fed everybody else around us. Day hikers, section hikers. Even if you just walk up, we'll feed you. Leapfrog Cafe is all about feed them and love them. There's no discrimination whatsoever. No matter who you are, what you believe, what lifestyle you live, your sexual orientation, that's your choices in life. At the cafe, everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. And if you allow us to come in, 2 rules: don't walk behind the table and don't bring up divisive subjects, because we want everybody to be happy and full when they leave there.
Well, perfect. So do you plan on catching up to Hawk again? Because
I didn't answer that question.
I know. You left it out.
It's day by day.
It's day by day.
So my goal is hopefully to move north, but it's day by day.
It's day by day. Well, you don't know what's going to happen out here, really.
I really expected to be north by now, but I'm seeing there's so many more hikers that are still coming in groups and bubbles.
Yeah.
Me and you were talking about that earlier. There's bubbles behind here.
Yeah, well, I can tell you there was a bubble with me of about 10 or so. We were leaping each other. Mm-hmm. And then from what I'm being told, there's another bubble of 20 or 25 behind that.
And see, so it's more economically efficient to stay closer to home and don't burn a lot of gas going way north. So maybe it might be better. I'm glad you told me that. You're the first that told me about the second bubble.
Yeah, there is a second. Yeah. That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
So, and I believe them. There's no reason
to. I really don't know, but it's just, since I know this area so well, it's closer to home and we can save gas, That might be what I do. I would love to get up to PA at least, and I'd love to eventually get to the point where I can work. Normally this time of year, I'm in Maine and New Hampshire right now.
Yeah.
So I'm out where it's cooler. It's hot here. But the new addition on the van with the fans, I put 2 fans in there, one on the roof, one that blows on me when I'm sleeping. It made a huge difference.
It's perfect. Yeah. It's perfect. So all right, Fresh Ground, leave the listeners. What do you want to leave the listeners with? First of all, thank you very much for taking time. I mean, I literally ran over and said, Fresh Ground. What do you want to leave people with?
I'm sorry about what's going on in the world today. But the attitude out here is, if you come out and get away from all that, it just kind of reboots your brain. Mm-hmm. I would encourage everybody to come out and do a hike. The community is awesome, good people. We're very trusting, very respectful of each other. Even if you just come out and do a day hike, come hang out with us, right?
Come hang out, yeah.
Find us where we're at. Love the community, love people. I think sometimes sitting and watching TV and listening to other people talk, it can be depressing.
Yeah, and it can make your mind think wonky things that aren't necessarily actually happening.
So we don't want to see you depressed. Come on out to the trail. Go hike a trail, not just this trail. There's all kinds of places to go. Just get outside, I think, is the main thing.
Fresh air. I mean, we got a nice little breeze going by right now. There's a hiker coming up right there.
That's Gumpy.
There you go. That's right. That's why he's here. There he comes.
But just remember, though, like we heard the whippoorwills this morning wake us up.
Yep.
And up on these ridges, it's a lot cooler than in the valley. So it might be humid down there, no wind, but up here it's a nice cool breeze.
Oh, I recognize that guy. I've been passing him. He and I've been literally leapfrogging the past 2 or 3 days. So listen, Fresh Ground, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you for what you do.
Happy trails.
Yes.
Hey, everybody. It is Jester. It is Friday, July 3rd, day number 20, out here on the Appalachian Trail. And today is another rest day for me, and I will be back at it with Wheezy Pee tomorrow, just north of the Shenandoahs. But for today, we were driving through Shenandoah National Park on Skyline Drive, and lo and behold, we ran into fresh ground again. And this morning we had awesome banana pancakes and amazing coffee made by Fresh Ground. And I got an opportunity to interview 3 more thru-hikers. So that'll be a great way for you guys to hear more about what's going on the trail, current situation with thru-hikers. And I hope you enjoy. Have an awesome Friday, July the 3rd. And here is their interview. Hey, everybody, it is Jester. It is Friday, July the 3rd, and still in the Shenandoah National Park at the High Top Mountain parking area, and ran into the one and only Fresh Ground again. Just had some awesome banana flavored pancakes. And as we speak right now, I'm looking at Fresh Ground across the street, brushing his teeth. Hey, Fresh Ground. And I've got a couple hikers here that I want you guys to hear from, because again, we're talking about a through hiking season that is a little bit crazy. And since we are on the parkway, we've got all kinds of noise going by, but we'll deal with it. We'll wait for this truck to go by. There you go. So I'll let you guys or have you guys introduce yourselves first. So you are?
I'm Puddles.
All right, Puddles. And when did you start your original hike?
So I originally started on March 5th.
Okay. And so you started March 5th. And tell us a little bit about your story. You went until when, and then got off the trail and then came back?
So I hiked until April 1st and was really, really sad to get off the trail. But for, many different reasons, felt like it was the best decision. And then I ended up getting back on the trail, May 31st in Irwin, Tennessee, which is exactly where I got off. So just took a solid 2 months worth of zeros, and I'm back on.
That is a great way to look at it. So I do have a question before we move on to the other guys here. In your mind, did you know you were going to get back on, or did you have doubt? Oh, am I going to be able to do this? Like, what's happening kind of thing?
I absolutely had doubts. I was looking on LinkedIn because I didn't know if I needed to get a job. But if anything, I think the quarantine made me realize how much I wanted to get on the trail and be on the trail. And, I'm happy to be here.
Perfect. All right, now we are moving on. That was awesome. Now we're moving on to
Adam. Might be going by the name LG now. Test driving it today, seeing how it feels.
Perfect. So Adam, when did you or LG, when did you actually begin your journey on the Appalachian Trail?
I started on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th.
And what was the vibe when you got on the trail? Because that was right around the time, I think, when everything started happening. So what was the vibe?
I feel like it was the only topic of conversation whenever you'd run into other hikers. Just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of, just a lot of confused emotions from a lot of people.
So when did you make that decision to get off the trail and get back on?
So I was just a couple of days out from the Smokies. I had a resupply box in Fontana Village, and the county was shutting down. The Smokies thru-hiker permits were getting canceled out, and the ATC had just made the request for folks to get off the trail.
Perfect. So you got off the trail for how many weeks?
That's too much math for me.
We'll just say a few weeks.
So I was off the trail March 26th, and I got back on May 16th.
All right, perfect. And I've got a couple follow-up questions, so I will come back. And we also have
Toy Story.
Oh, I love it. All right, so we've got Toy Story. So talk to us about how your journey began on the AT.
Yeah, so I started March 1st on the AT, and I hiked till March 21st, got off for about 9 weeks, and then I started back where I got off in Hot Springs on May 29th, and I've hiked to the Shenandoahs, and I'm not through hiking anymore, which is a big bummer, but hopefully I'll come back and be able to finish it another time, but I'm just going until probably the end of July.
All right, perfect. So you were out there too. So before you got off the trail, did you contemplate not getting off the trail, like staying on? And because I know some people stayed on and didn't get off the trail.
Yeah, so 2 of my closest friends from March actually stayed on, and they're finishing any day now.
Wow.
So I definitely have some regrets about it, but I think it was the right decision for me personally. I know they're happy. I don't know. I thought that I wasn't going to be off for as long as I was, so I wasn't really that worried about it. I thought it would just be like a week, and that a week turned into 9 weeks. So I never really felt like I was officially getting off like I did. But
Gotcha.
Like Puddle said, it just felt now like a lot of zeros.
There you go. A lot of 0 days in between.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this before I kind of rotate back. Tell the listeners now, because I know there's probably people out there contemplating, because there are still some people not wanting to get back out. Just what's the vibe now? And how do you guys feel now about things?
I think, I don't know. I feel comfortable. I think so. Like when I was quarantined with my family, you kind of were more comfortable around the people you're spending your days with. And now I kind of look at like LG and Puddles as like the people you're quarantining with. Like you don't feel as like scared to be in their presence, because it's, I don't know. So you kind of look at all the hikers as your quarantine family right now. So it's not as, it's a different type of vibe. There's less people. But it's, it feels safe, feels fine. Yeah.
Perfect. And so we will go back to, I guess, LG. You're going to try that for a day or so and see how that goes down. So talk to us a little bit about, so you're back out on the trail. How's resupply and going into towns and things like that for hikers right now? What's the vibe on that?
So far, it's been pretty easy. People in towns have been very friendly. I've met a few people in towns that have been very appreciative of us hikers being there, supporting their communities, and the generosity they've shown has really blown me away. But most of the time, resupplies are either within walking distance or a phone call away to arrange a shuttle. You just need to plan ahead a little bit more sometimes. And once in a while, you do a food carry that's a little bit bigger, but it's been very doable.
Perfect. And going back to Puddles here, so I teach high school, and the graduating class of 2020, literally when they graduated in a drive-by graduation, we told them basically, this is the class that will never be forgotten. This is the class that had to do things in unique ways, had to survive struggles that no one's going to have to survive. And I am translating that now to the class of 2020 out on the trail. At certain points, you didn't have the support of the ATC. At certain points, you didn't have trail maintainers out on the trail. You had to make horrific decisions to get off the trail. So as part of class of 2020, what do you want to leave people with now? You're back out here, you're doing this.
I guess to speak to just comparing it to the graduating class of 2020, I think something that all of us have learned is how to be resilient and how to be creative in our problem solving. And, I think that's part of why a lot of us came out here. And we came out here not knowing what to expect and certainly not expecting this. But if anything, I think all of us have learned a lot from this experience.
And I'm learning a lot from you guys. I mean, just being out here. And I commend all of you in Fresh Ground for being out here, serving the hiking community and still doing what you guys are doing. So I really appreciate you guys coming on the podcast. Any final thoughts?
Just want to give a shout out to Fresh Grounds and all the really, really great trail angels. Yeah. The hiking community is still as supportive as ever. Maybe just a little bit more hygienic hand washing stations. But we totally would not make it to Maine without them. So
perfect. Final thoughts?
I feel blessed to be out here. I'm just happy to be hiking, and I'm very appreciative of the folks like Fresh Grounds that are feeding us, all the amazing, magical food that we're getting. Watch out for those leafy greens.
And final thoughts. Toy Story.
Just want to say thanks to all the hostel owners, hostel caretakers, trail angels, just everyone, even like the Dollar General clerks, just people helping us out along the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Phenomenal. All right. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And Fresh Ground, final thoughts.
Hey, come on out and give them a Coke, a candy bar, bag of chips. It means a lot to them. You don't have to do nothing major, but I mean, I love to cook, so that's why I'm out here. But come on out and support them.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. And I will be back and we will be chatting soon. Hey, everybody. This is Jester and
Wheezy Pee.
And we are at a lovely stream right now having a little drink on Saturday, July the 4th. And here we are again. I think this is Wheezy Pee's fault again. We are doing a 20 miler. And today we are going south. We started at Ashby Gap, which is mile marker 990.8. And we are ending in Front Royal at US 522, mile marker 970.8. And how far are we in now?
4.67.
Wheezy Pee has one of these fancy watches. So I just turn around and go, how far have we gone? So basically we're taking our 5 mile break. And so far, I mean, it is going to be warm today, is it not?
It's definitely going to be warm. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Hot.
It's going to be excruciatingly hot. But hey, we are hydrating, we are eating, and we're doing this stuff early. We're going to take breaks and sit and cool our body temperature down. So, Wheezy, explain kind of the terrain and what we've been going through so far.
Well, so far, the terrain has been pretty agreeable, and it's been rocky in some parts, overgrown in other parts, but none of the climbs have been bad. We have been climbing. We've done over 1,000 feet of elevation gain, and it's been a pretty gentle elevation gain.
I don't even feel like we've done that.
No, it's been pretty good.
Oh, and what animals have we seen today already?
We have seen a ton of bunnies. I think we saw a pregnant bunny.
And they're fat too.
They are, definitely fat. And then we saw a turtle, a pretty big turtle.
On the trail.
And a chipmunk. So far.
Hiking the Appalachian Trail. Oh, and that bluebird.
The bluebird, that's actually like a beautiful turquoise color. Very vibrant. And I'm hoping to see a bear.
Okay, so I could deal without the bear, but hey, if Wheezy wants to see one,
I would love to see a bear.
We'll video it for you. So we are
looking around as we speak.
Yeah, we're looking around like, are they behind us? Where are they? So what's our terrain? I don't remember this terrain at all, even though I've been on it twice. Wheezy Pee, this is how many times for you?
This is my 3rd time coming through here.
And so I think it's just kind of rolling.
It's pretty rolling. I mean, there's a couple of climbs that are steep, but the nicest part is at the end of the day, there's a nice long downhill to 522. So that's the best part.
Oh, and we've got support meeting us at Manassas Gap.
Yes.
Stephanie is going to be there with all the luxury we need with cold drinks, sandwiches. What'd you buy at Sheetz this morning?
I bought a chicken salad sandwich.
So perfect. We've got fruit cups. We're being a little smarter this time.
Lots of fruit.
And we might see a listener here about halfway through. So we'll keep you posted on that, and we'll get back to you.
Yep. Peace.
All right, everybody. It is Jester and
Wheezy Pee.
We are literally standing at mile 19 of our 20-mile day. And I will say, it has been better than our other 20-mile day, but I don't want to make it seem like this is a better day because that was an awesome day as well. I think it's because if we would not have had the heat, we'd have been done an hour or two ago.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But the heat, oh my God, I cannot explain. I mean, we're standing here and it's like sticky, bloated. I feel like I'm in a sauna. I'm not complaining because I still love it. We're still on the Appalachian Trail.
We still do love it. 90-degree heat, mosquitoes, climbs, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's the AT. So, Wheezy, why don't you summarize the entire day?
Oh, wow.
It's a big task, I know.
That is a big task. Okay, summarize the day. Well, the day started with running across the road, and it was like, oh, yeah, there's a tractor trailer.
I forgot about that part.
And then it was like nice climbs. We ate lots of fruit today. We had great support with fresh cut cantaloupe. Made my entire day.
Yep. If you hike with us, you never know what's going to show up. That's all I'm going to say.
And and then we met AlphaGal.
Yep.
And he hiked with us for a little bit. And then we did the climb up to Manassas Gap. And that meadow was hot.
Woo.
Hot. I felt like I was in a tanning booth. And then and then now we're on this downhill. We've got a mile left, and the clouds rolled in a few miles ago, and it's cooling down a little bit. We could use a downpour, but it is what it is, and it's been a great day, and we'll have another 20 knocked out.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, for the most part, I would say we've been in Green Tunnel.
Yeah, there's really no views today.
Oh, and the deer. Tell them about the deer.
Oh, my goodness. There was this deer, and it was so cute. And I talked to it like I would talk to a dog. And the deer just stood there and watched us and moved his big ears around because he had these really cute big ears. And he just moved his little ears around and tilted his head and like listened to what we were saying to him. And we got some really awesome pics, which I'll post on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much zoom on those pics. I mean, that deer was like right there. It was like he was talking to us, really. Or we've gone crazy because that
might have been talking to us. The deer is our friend. I want to have tea with the deer.
Oh my goodness.
Sweet tea with the deer.
And we've already talked about what we are going to eat when we get to Cracker Barrel and get in the air condition. So Wheezy, what'd you decide you're ordering?
I don't know, but chicken and dumplings still sounds good with some cornbread and some lemonade.
Yeah, and I'm going to order a huge pitcher of sweet tea because I literally could dump the pitcher on me right now and then have to get more sweet tea. I'm going for the dumplings as well, green beans, mashed potatoes, and cornbread.
Yeah, maybe we'll find some milkshake somewhere too.
Yeah, that sounds good too. So, all right, guys, this is a wrap for 4th of July. Again, happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th.
If you could see Wheezy Pee, she's got her 4th of July outfit on, and we're both carrying American flags because we love America. So happy July 4th, and I will chat with you guys soon.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. It is Jester. It is Monday, July 6th, and today is day 23. This morning, I started at Ashby Gap at mile marker 990.8, and I am going north to Bear's Den Hostel, which is mile marker 1004.3, which makes it a 13.5 mile day. And I got to go ahead and tell you, I've probably got 3.5 miles to go until I get to Bear's Den Hostel. And I'm recording as I'm going down because this morning I started what's called the roller coaster. And that is a series of ups and downs. I think there's 13 or 14 of them. I won't be done with them today, but I'll be done tomorrow, that literally go up 700, down 600, or up 500 feet and down, 700 feet. And you're doing this over a series of miles, and there are no views. The terrain's not bad. It's rocky, and in some parts it's not rocky. And there seems to be some decent water on the downs, but I got to tell you, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. The problem, well, not the problem. The factor today is it is hot and humid, and it's summer on the Appalachian Trail, and you can definitely feel it in this roller coaster because you don't really get out of the green tunnel. So at sometimes it's almost suffocating, because you're just kind of, again, I'm soaked, and I think I've said that before, just from, sweating, and I've already gone through 4 liters of water, Gatorade, electrolytes, all that good stuff today. But yeah, so that's what's going on today. Entered the roller coaster yesterday. Took another day off after Wheezy Pee and I did 20 miles just north of the Shenandoah National Park. And that was an awesome day, as you guys heard. But man, it was hot that afternoon, and it whooped me. And yesterday, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I laid in the bed at the hotel with the air conditioning on, and it was awesome. And I didn't do anything. Literally nothing. I ate and hydrated and stuff like that, but it was an amazing day off. And again, like I have said on this adventure this summer, I am also considering myself on vacation. So had a great vacation day yesterday. But right now, I am working on my next section north of the Shenandoahs, and I will be hiking this week through ending Virginia, going into West Virginia, Maryland, and ending at Caledonia State Park, which is just north of the Pennsylvania-Maryland state line. And when I get done at the end of this week, I will be heading up the trail to Pennsylvania, because north of Duncannon, Pennsylvania, I should say, because once I get to Caledonia State Park, just north of the Pennsylvania-Maryland state line, I have also done all of that trail for a second time. So I am moving up to north of Duncannon, and I will be going from PA 325, I think, to Bake Oven Knob. And then that'll be the following week, which I will 100% keep you guys posted on what's happening and what's going on, of course. And then after that week, I will be moving to the New York, Connecticut state line area and hiking from there, hopefully getting into Massachusetts before the end of July, but we'll see. The heat is definitely slowing me down. I already altered my schedule for this week to kind of rearrange the mileage. It's just hot. And even yesterday, as I was laying in the bed at the hotel with the air conditioning on me, I was like, there's no reason to kill myself out here. I'm just not going to do it. So there's that. So got the week planned out. I'll be going north. I'll be going through Harper's Ferry. And the original schedule I had, I was going to go around Harper's Ferry because the bridge was closed. But now the bridge is open. That takes you over the river there and over to the other side. So you can go up, I think it's Weaverton Cliffs, I can't remember. But anyway, so that was a surprise. So now I'm going to be going through Harper's Ferry here in a couple days. So that will be a lot of fun. All right, I am negotiating my way down this hill, and it got real rocky. But I think I'll end today with not only am I on the physical roller coaster of the Appalachian Trail, this morning, man, mentally, I was on this mental game because so I had the stubbed toe. That's what I'm going to call it. And I got over that. And I had the knee thing, which was, it was just stiff. And I got over that. And then the heat came. And now I'm dealing with that. And the one thing I really haven't gotten over or figured out, and I don't know if I'll ever figure it out, is the food. Because, I mean, it's just, when I'm out here and I'm hiking and it's hot, I just don't want to chew, and that's bad. Because I feel like I'm hydrating enough, but I am not eating enough calories. So this morning, I'm going through this whole thing in my mind, like, how am I going to figure this out? How am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? And instead of just trying to figure it out, I just started eating. And I just started eating one thing after the other out of my pack. And I was like, wow, I actually feel better. So I definitely think I'm in some calorie deficit thing. And I will figure this out. I don't know if I'm going to start drinking more caloric liquid stuff, like carnation breakfast stuff in the morning. I don't know if I'm going to go get me some protein powder and, start adding calories that way, but I will figure it out. That's just part of the Appalachian Trail. And this morning, I think I was letting the humidity and the heat get to me, but that's the thing. It's not fun every day, and things don't line up every day. And, even though the birds are chirping, sometimes you don't hear it because of where you're at in your mental state at that time. So got myself out of that, had a good lunch, sat down, got cooled off, and, got my mind right again. And now my mind's okay. So we shall see. But I can say this again, when it comes to the Appalachian Trail, I don't think we talk enough we always talk about how we love it and we want to be out here and it just does something for for us and all that good stuff. But it's hard, it's hot, and that mental capability has got to be there. Otherwise, I'd have just talked myself right out of doing anything this morning. But mentally got myself back together. And I am at the bottom of this hill, and I think I've got 2 more climbs, and then I will be at Bear's Den. So you guys enjoy your Monday. Happy trails. Life is good. I'm going to figure this food stuff out. If anybody's got any suggestions on liquid calories that have worked for you, send them my way because I'm willing to try anything, and I will chat with you guys soon. Good morning, everybody. It is Jester. It is day 24, Tuesday, July 7th, and I am actually standing at the northern end of the roller coaster, which means I am done. Yay! And there's actually a sign here, and it says, "Hiker warning. You are about to enter the roller coaster, built and maintained by the trail boss and his crew of volunteers. Have a great ride." All right, all I'm going to say about the roller coaster is, done for a second time. I used to like roller coasters as a kid, and now I think they give me vertigo. So anyway, big moment here, standing, getting out of the roller coaster, heading north today. I'm actually ended yesterday at Bear's Den. So starting this morning, I actually started pretty early at 5:50 a.m. this morning to try to beat some of this heat at mile marker 1004.3. And I am going north to Keys Gap at mile marker 1018.5. And that is going to make it a 14.2 mile day. And I also wanted to read for you what it says about the roller coaster in the AT guide. It says the roller coaster, 13.5 miles of ascents and descents. So that is done. Started that yesterday, and man, I am glad to be out of here. And literally the terrain, like immediately changes. The roller coaster, I think I said this yesterday, and it's just a series of up and down, no views. And because of the heat, it was just stagnant. And, but man, I am glad to be out of that and heading north. And wanted to tell you guys, yesterday we spent the evening at Bear's Den Hostel. And Bear's Den is actually owned, I think, by the ATC. And there is a caretaker there. And you cannot go in Bear's Den. You can't stay inside. But the caretaker is allowing people to tent and stuff like that on the grounds. And it is just absolutely beautiful. And we had a good night last night. And guess what? Fresh Ground showed up at Bear's Den. And he had fresh watermelon. And we just pulled out chairs and sat around. And socially distancing, of course. And just had a good talk. There were a couple more thru-hikers there last night. Actually, a couple section hikers. One gentleman started, I don't remember the name of the trail he started on, but it was somewhere in Massachusetts. And the trail ends in Harper's Ferry, and now he's hiking the AT South. And another section hiker who was taking on, I think, about a couple 100 miles, and he started in Harper's Ferry and is going south. So just enjoyed ourselves last night. And then I decided, hey, I need to get up early because it is hot. And now it's getting to the point where we were even talking about this last night. It's almost unbearable to hike between like 2 and 6 o'clock. Yesterday when I got done, it was 97 degrees. And for me, it takes a while to recover from that. And, you know, you try to avoid getting that dehydration headache. So pounded the liquids, had some good calories and all that good stuff. So, yeah. So again, I'm going to take a look at my schedule. And if I have to alter some things so I can be done by early afternoon, that's just what I'm going to have to do, because it's almost intolerable. And the water sources are drying up and all that good stuff. And I'm a morning person, so getting up in the morning is not a problem. And the hikers last night, a couple of them were going to get up in the morning, and then some hikers like to hike better at night. So everybody at this point, and this just kind of changed in the last few days, are really having to take a look and maybe alter schedules, because I mean, the heat and the humidity it's really unbearable. So, and then you're having to haul more water and all that lovely stuff, but still enjoying being out here. But I mean, that's just the way it goes. You kind of have to alter your plans as you go. And sometimes it might be day by day, road crossing to road crossing. And you really just put one foot in front of the other and do what you can do. And then I think Fresh Ground is going to be at Keys Gap later today, so I will probably see him again. And then he is going to help a crew of, I'm not sure, it's either 4 or 8 hikers. They're going to do the 4-state challenge. And about 25 miles into their challenge, he's going to feed them and then meet them at the end. And then I think even Fresh Ground is going to alter his schedule a little bit, because it's just too hot. And it's almost even too hot to cook, especially in the evening. And, you know, sometimes, you know, hot food is probably amazing, but you kind of have to let your body and everything settle down before you can eat. So yeah, so everybody out here is doing what they have to do. And I am happy right now, because literally this terrain, I mean, it has completely changed. The footing is good. I'm able to actually stride out And I don't know how long this is going to last because you all know the Appalachian Trail changes every second, but I'm going to take full advantage of it and have an awesome Tuesday, July the 7th. You know I'll be back in touch tomorrow. Another highlight of today is the Blackburn Trail Center, which is actually 0.2 off the trail. And I'm pretty sure that is owned and operated by the ATC as well. And I'm not sure if that is open. I don't think I'll be going down there. And then the trail kind of meanders down into Keys Gap. And I will be staying there tonight. So you guys have an awesome Tuesday, and I will check back in with you real soon. Good morning, everybody. It is Jester. It is Wednesday morning, July the 8th. And this is day number 25 out on the Appalachian Trail. And today I am going from Keys Gap, mile marker 1018.5 north to the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, which is mile marker 1024.2. And I think that makes it a 5.6 mile day. And I am really looking forward to getting there here in a couple hours. I am meeting a hiking friend of mine that I met back in 2012. His trail name is Stickbuilt. And he was beginning his section hiking journey. And we both stayed at the Hiker Hostel in Dahlonega, Georgia. And I was down there for my spring break for a week. And it was my first time to Springer Mountain. And it was his first time to Springer Mountain. So we got to share Springer Mountain together and kind of the week together. And he continued on his journey. And I mean, we've pretty much been friends ever since. You know, texting back and forth on Facebook and things like that. And he saw that I was going to be going through Harper's Ferry today and said, hey, you want to meet up, have lunch, all that good stuff? And I said, 100%. So I am really looking forward to that. I had another interview this morning that I'm going to leave you with this week with two lady thru-hikers. And they have a unique story of when they started the trail and what's going on with them. So I will end this week's episode with their interview because it's Wednesday. So the episode will end and just have a few final thoughts as I walk to Harper's Ferry, the Appalachian Trail Conservancy headquarters, which I believe is still closed. At some point on the Appalachian Trail, it was the midpoint, but because everything, mileage changes and things like that, it's kind of known as the psychological midpoint for a thru-hiker. Typically, when you get to Harper's Ferry, you get your picture taken. You know, they let you know what number you are, whether you're going north or south. You also go there as a section hiker, and you get a section hiker number as well for that year. So as a section hiker, like I finished my first section hike in 2017. So as a section hiker, I am considered the class of 2017, which is awesome. So that's kind of how that works in Harper's Ferry. And Harper's Ferry is a historical town, so it'll be cool to spend some time there and hang out and stuff like that. So the trail leading to Harper's Ferry is pretty easy for these 5.6 miles. It's relatively flat, rocky in some places, but no major climbs or anything like that. So that will be basically my day today. And then I haven't had a shower in a few days, so I'm going to see if I can get a shower and wash all this humidity and heat off of me and regroup, refresh. Yes, look at my schedule again and go from there. But already this morning, it is like, I don't know, it's 9 o'clock, 9 a.m., and I am pouring sweat already, and you can hear my breathing. I'm walking totally flat. So the mugginess and the humidity has really set in. But just want to finish the episode by saying this week has definitely had its trials and tribulations with the heat, but has also been amazing. And I want to thank Fresh Ground for coming on the podcast. You guys heard from him a little bit earlier. And, you know, sharing his story and his calling and what he's called to do out here for the Appalachian Trail. I want to thank Wheezy Pee, who has met me every Saturday that I have been out here to hike. And that has been amazing. And she's coming this Saturday, so you know something crazy is probably going to happen. I want to thank AlphaGal, who came this past Saturday and hiked a couple miles with me and Wheezy Pee. I actually had a little interview with him, and unfortunately, something happened to the sound, and I'm not going to be able to play it. So AlphaGal, I owe you another interview, and I will catch up with you sooner rather than later. And then I also just wanted to thank all the thru-hikers that have been willing to come on here and share their story from the beginning in the previous episode. Lava Girl and her crew, Puddles, LG, Toy Story, Running Bear, and Demona. And Running Bear and Demona, you're getting ready to hear from here shortly. And like I said, I think it was yesterday, man, I am completely out of breath. You guys have to forgive me. Every day, you know, you just kind of almost have to go day by day, or as Fresh Ground says, resupply to resupply, because you never know who you're going to meet, what's going to happen, the weather, your mental status, but you just put one foot in front of the other and you keep going. So I also wanted to thank everybody who's listening, everybody who's left me messages. I had a listener put on my Instagram, how in the world has it already been, 24 days or 25 days? And I don't know, because time goes real fast out here. And for some reason, yesterday, I thought about work. And I still have another 3.5 weeks to go. So I'm trying not to think about that. But anyway, as always, guys, thanks for listening. And happy section hiking. And enjoy this next interview. Good morning, everybody. It is Jester. It is, well, we think it's Wednesday morning, July the 8th, and we are at Keys Gap, West Virginia, soon to be hiking into Harper's Ferry. And here at Keys Gap, again, we got Fresh Ground. Hey, Fresh Ground.
Good morning.
And Fresh Ground is cooking up some pancakes this morning for a couple lady hikers. And these young ladies have a particularly unique story out here on the trail this year. So first thing I'm going to do is have them introduce themselves. So,
hi, I'm Running Bear.
Running Bear and
Demona.
So let's go back a little bit. When I've been interviewing the thru-hikers, pretty much we all know this is a unique year. And most of the thru-hikers got off the trail, and then either some skipped the Smokies, some, are doing flip-flops. Everybody has an individual story, and so do these ladies as well. So, Running Bear, let's start with you. So, tell us about your decision to start the trail and why you started the trail when you did.
So I had planned to start the second week in April, but saw everything closing with COVID, and I was already following some people that had started, and they were having a little bit of trouble like getting into town and resupplying. So I pretty much knew that if I got on trail when I wanted to, it was going to be more difficult than I wanted it to be. So I just decided I was going to take it like day by day, basically at home, and wait it out and then reassess. And I waited as long as I possibly could until May 2nd.
Okay, so you actually officially started on Springer Mountain May 2nd.
Yeah, Amicalola, but yeah.
Okay, Amicalola Falls. You went through the arch and up the approach trail and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So I'm going to come back to that because this is part of y'all's unique story. So let's go back over. It's Dimona, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back over to Dimona. So talk to us about your decision when to start and get on the trail.
Well, I was going to start on March 27th, and everything was already shutting down before that, and I realized that. So a friend of mine suggested, why not hiking between Smokies and Irvine, so because I live near Asheville. And then if I can start later in the season, I can just jump over that and still finish in time. So that's what I did.
All right, perfect. And last night we were talking, and you guys thought you were going to start and there would be no one out on the trail. And tell us what happened on that very first day. Uh-oh, she's chewing her pancakes, so we got to give her... Okay.
Well, I was driving up to Springer Mountain and already afraid that I'm not going to be able to hike. I didn't know what to expect because there were closure signs at the trailheads and you can't enter, and I don't know, it's illegal. I don't know exactly what it said. So I was a little nervous. So literally, I just like ran to the sign at Springer, touched it, took a picture, and there sat this girl with a backpack big. And I was like, "Are you a thru-hiker?" She was like, "Yup." And I was like, "All right, see you later on the trail."
Perfect. And that was
me.
So did you think you were going to see anybody?
Not really. I actually, the very first week in April, my parents live like an hour south of Amicalola, so I went out to see what was up, like to see if rangers were patrolling.
That
or
was
like,
smart.
Yeah, and when I went that time, I actually saw multiple people that day turning around.
Oh, wow.
Because there was a sign that said like, notice, this is closed, but there were no rangers, no nothing, but there was hardly any people. So when I went back out, I thought it was going to be the same type of situation. But when I got to the top of Springer, there was like a huge group of guys. I don't know if it was like a rehab program or what. There were all types of like different ages and backgrounds, and they were all hanging up there, like 20 guys, and a lot of people were on Springer, so it was kind of like shocking, but
so that'll dispel the myth. People are out here and people have started their hikes, and you guys have a couple more unique things that have been going on. So you've had to kind of really contemplate maybe some closures, maybe how to get around things. So talk to us maybe about the Smokies opening, and most recently the Harper's Ferry Bridge.
Yeah, so we thought that we'll just keep hiking and see if the Smokies open or not. And if not, then we'll just have to jump over them. We really didn't know what to do. There was an option that maybe we have to go southbound for a while. And I was thinking that if I needed to do that, I don't want to finish in like Harper's Ferry or some road crossing. So I was like, well, it could be Klingman's Dome then in the end. But then we got so lucky as we were in Hiwassee that day. The Smokies opened and we were like, yeah, let's get the permits now.
Yes, perfect. And what just recently happened, because I was getting ready to have to do the same thing, kind of try to figure out how I was going to go around this bridge in Harper's Ferry.
The footbridge opened, so this whole time it's been literally like a week or less things open right before we get there. So it's just kind of crazy the way it's worked out.
And you know what? I always go back to an old trail saying that the trail provides. And whether it's a 2020 COVID-19 year, whether it's whatever it is, somehow the trail provides a way. And I think that's happening for you ladies. Would you say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So going forward, we just got done talking about how you guys actually feel out on trail. And is it weird? Is it weird to be a thru-hiker? So talk us through, and we'll kind of close out how you guys are feeling and your plan going forward.
So for me, I actually went out last year and had a failed attempt. I didn't even make it out of Georgia. It's been way better for me this year. I don't like big crowds. I need a lot of alone time, even in like my normal life. So last year, that was part of what like overwhelmed me, and was part of the reason I got off trail, was because it was so crowded and it was giving me anxiety and I just hated it. So this year, the fact that there's a lot less people out here, I actually like prefer that. But I don't feel weird out here at all. I really love it. So.
And what about, you guys have any problems in towns, or is it getting better and better as you go north?
It's definitely getting better and better. Like, sometimes we get weird looks in like the small towns, but for the most part, I haven't really had any like truly negative experiences in town. So.
Perfect. Well, I'm gonna let you finish your breakfast because she's got 3 huge pancakes there. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I will put your Instagram on the show notes.
Okay.
And all right, Damona, so leave us with some final thoughts of kind of how you feel out here and how you're going to progress going forward.
Well, I feel great out here. Pretty much same what Running Bear said. I don't like huge crowds either. I thought that I wanted to be around people, but from what I heard, the crowds that were last year, I prefer this. So many times we just slept all by ourselves, and that was great. And, you know, we come out here for the wilderness, so that's what we want, not huge crowds. And I think we can just keep going. The only question is still, once we reach Maine, you know, they want you to quarantine for like 14 days, but I don't worry about that anymore. You know, my trail name it doesn't say a lot in English, but it kind of represents that you don't have to follow all society's rules, and that I need to learn to break some of them as well.
Well, here's what I'm going to leave this with. The bottom line is the trail has provided for you ladies so far. And I feel like a couple months from now, as we move forward in this quarantine, the trail's going to provide for you guys again. So I will put your Instagram links or Facebook links in the show notes so the listeners can follow along. Appreciate it, ladies, and happy trails and happy journey.
Thank you.
Fresh ground.
Great job.
All right, take care.
I'm wondering if you'd go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night, heading toward the morning light. I wonder if you'd wander with me, and I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods. You're wondering if I go wandering with you, what kind of trouble we'll get ourselves into. Would it be wrong to tag along with a band of vagabonds? You wonder if I'd wander with you. So I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river through the woods. I'm wondering if you'd come wandering my way, if you ever get lost or if the trail leads you astray. The music of the pack can always bring you back. I wonder, can we wander away? And I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come. And we'll leave the streets in these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.